In this homework problem, we're going to look at absolute value and number lines in an application problem. So the directions read, use the statement below to answer the following questions. The temperature dropped 10 degrees Celsius overnight. So the first question asks us, represent the change in temperature with a signed number. So if the temperature dropped 10 degrees Celsius for part A, we would use -10, the negative representing the fact that the temperature dropped. Part B asks us, what word in the sentence did you use to determine the sign of the number? And we said that word was dropped. So if the temperature raised or went up, we would use those words to determine a positive number. But here, the word dropped is telling us that it's negative. Part C, the absolute value of a number is its distance from 0. Plot the signed number that represents the change in the temperature overnight and also the number 0 on the number line using the dot tool. So it starts off at line segment, so I'm going to change that to dot, and we want to plot 0 and -10. And now we're going to draw a line segment between these numbers to represent the distance. So I'm going to click on line segment and draw the line segment. So part C is complete. Part D asks us, use your number line to determine the distance between the two numbers. Well, the distance you can see is going to be 10, and remember we think of distance as positive. So the absolute value, or the distance of -10 from 0 is 10. And now in part E, it asks us to choose the expression that represents the absolute value of the change in temperature using symbolic notation. So, these bars here are what we call absolute value bars. And they work like parentheses, meaning that you're going to perform the operation of taking the absolute value of the number in the absolute value bars before anything on the outside. So I'm just going to read these to you. This is the absolute value of -10. This reads the absolute value of 10. This is the opposite of the absolute value of 10. And this is the opposite of the absolute value of -10. So what we found here was the distance between -10 and 0, and that's going to be the first one, the absolute value of -10. So the action of finding the distance from 0 to a number was taking place on the number -10, so the negatives wouldn't be on the outside.